Hello again, 'tis me. It's Kirsten, and I'm here with my first ever monthly roundup video. It is the start of August, so I get to tell you all about the stuff I read in July time. So I'm just gonna fire straight in with it. As always, grab a chair, make yourself comfortable, get yourself a little drinky. Today is not very glamorous. It is mango Fanta in a beer glass. So, cheers. Refreshing. Let's get on with the show. First of all, can anyone actually believe that we're in August already? What has happened to the previous 7 months of the year? I feel like I have blinked and all of a sudden people are going to start talking about Santa and stuff. Jesus, not fun. July was such an awesome month, reading and not reading wise. I got my timetable for college that starts at the end of this month, so I'm all ready to go out and buy my highlighters and my little notepads, spare pens, everything that I could possibly need. I love stationery shopping. I think I'm the only person who absolutely adores it, but I cannot wait for my first day back at school. I also went away for an amazing midweek break with my better half and my doggeroo in Pitlochry. We stayed in a cute little lodge with a hot tub, went on loads of walks, had some beers. Just a really good bit of peace and quiet. Life gets loud sometimes. I also managed to power through 12 entire books in July. Do I think I will be able to keep up that pace for the rest of the year? Absolutely not. Not a chance. Not a hope in the entirety of hellscape will I do 12 books a month for the rest of the year. Once I go back to college, I reckon I'll maybe get about half that. And I'll be very, very happy if I do. The one thing that does happen when I'm at college is my audiobook listening goes through the roof with all that commuting back and forth to college as well as work. And I've got some good audiobooks lined up for the next couple of months. My 12 books for July, 3,000 pages read across digital and physical books, along with like 26 hours of audio bookage happened to me in July. I swear to you, I do have other hobbies and a social life. I might be lying. I might have neither of those things. Here is my list in all of its glory of my 12 books. Maestra by L.S Hilton. You've got crime sprees. You've got unaliving. Tiny little bit of eroticism. This was my first delve into what people would consider to be spice. My previous experience of what I thought was spicy was reading my mum's Mills and Boons when I was a little younger. That was not spice, my friends. This was spice. Got all embarrassed, flushed, flustered. This book's been described as having a little bit of like a talented Mr. Ripley kind of vibe, but with a girl instead of a guy. And I do get that. I kind of understand where they're coming from with that. I enjoyed it, and there were just enough twists and thrillerising to keep me on my toes. Next up was my favourite book of the month. Potentially one of my favourite books that I've read in forever. Murder in the Family by Cara Hunter. Holy macar bejesus, did I love this book. Imagine a true crime documentary, but written down. Such a unique take on storytelling. You're basically watching the documentary episodically along with the rest of the world. It's just written down rather than televised. You've got descriptions of like camera angles, awkwardly fidgety interviews with random neighbours of the deceased person, cliffhanger episodes, and a finale with the twisty twists that are just out the wazoo. This was my only 5-star read in July, and my only regret is I'm never going to get to read it for the first time again. But you should definitely read it for the first time. So good. So good. Oh, yep. 100%. $1,000,000%, if you watch true crime stuff on YouTube to help you get to sleep like I do, read this. It's just as good. Just as good. Next up was an audiobook that I listened to, One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, which is the first in the Shepherd King series. I'm listening to book 2 as we speak, and this is like a romantasy. It's got some intrigue, it's got some suspense, magic, curses, power battles. I really enjoyed the first one, and the second one's got off to a cracking start so far. I read The Botanist on my Kindle by L.K Hill. This is a story about a serial unaliver and the detective, murder mystery, crime solving duo of people who are trying to get to the bottom of it all. This kind of book is absolutely my comfort genre. I eat them up. And although I did kind of figure out where it was going quite early on, it was still really, really good to get there. I read You Shouldn't Be Here by Lauren Thoman, and I've already done a video review on that, so go and have a little gander. It's a little bit supernatural, a little bit of a mystery. Really good. I've also done a review already on my next book that I read, which was In Any Lifetime by Marc Guggenheim. Parallel universes, a little bit of romance, a little bit of action. What more could you possibly want? Check out that video too. I read The Fellowship of the Ring for the first time in July as well. I've done my review. I felt a little disappointed by it. I'm so used to a really fast, supersonic pace that slower books just do take me longer to get into. And that's on me. Because reading is subjective, right? Everybody likes what they like. The story is good. The pacing, I just need to get used to. I'm going to read the next one this month. It's on hold at the library as we speak. My second audiobook of this month was Woman on the Edge of Time by Marge Piercy. This is like time travel, a little bit of social commentary around mental health and gender roles and stuff. It was really interesting, but I did kind of feel like I was reading 2 books at some points. They were so very different from each other. Still the Sun by Charlie N. Holmberg was up next. This is a standalone fantasy with a little bit of romance. Some really good little concepts and ideas. I loved the tiny there's like little diagrams in it that describe the machinery that's being created or found in the book, which was quite good for me because I find it hard to visualise stuff that doesn't exist sometimes. So I liked the little drawings and diagrams. Up next was a book that I have been trying to read for months but was finding it really, really hard to get into. The Fox Was Ever the Hunter by Herta Muller. This is probably as close you can get to poetry without it being an actual poem. Tons of symbolism, tons of hidden meanings and read between the lines. Really quite slow pace, but a really good build-up, and I felt really emotionally connected to it. The intensity really picked up towards the end and made it really quite enjoyable. Plus, it won the Nobel Prize. I have read a Nobel Prize winning book. Go me. The second last book that I read in July was a pre-release, so it's an advanced reader copy that I was given the absolute privilege of reading well before it comes out. It doesn't come out till February 2025, so we've got like 8 months yet till this book comes out, called You Are Fatally Invited by Ande, Pliego. It was great fun to read, really enjoyed it. My full written review is already on my blog, and I'm going to be doing a video review of it very, very soon. If you love a thriller, if you love a locked room mystery, get this one. Get it on your TBR now so that you can get it on release date. So good. And last but not least was a random spur-of-the-moment download onto my Kindle, Satan's Affair by H.D. Carlton. Now I'm blaming Bookstagram for this, 100%. I had been seeing memes, reels and all this kind of stuff about the haunting Adeline duology, the cat and mouse duology. And when I did a little bit of looking into it, this is like the prequel to those 2 books. So I decided, let's just crack it open and read the prequel. Now let me just say, I am stupendously naive when it comes to spice. I mentioned it when I spoke about Maestra, which was the first book I read in July. Maestra was tame in comparison to the every hole's a goal situation that happened in this book. This is my first ever foray into dark romance. Dark is a blinking understatement. There's gore, there's like, why choose, just have everybody. There's blood and creepiness and more, just have everybody. There's the trigger warning at the start of the book, which I highly recommend everybody make sure that they're very clear what on earth they're getting into before they get into it. The trigger warnings are there for a reason. I spent most of my time reading this book looking like this. Did it stop me reading it? No. Could I put it down? No. Have I already started the next book? Abso-frickin-lutely I have. That probably says more about me than anything else. And that was it. That was my 12 in July. August-wise, I'm a bit of a mood reader, so I like to leave myself a wee bit of a wiggle room to just randomly pick up random books like I did with Satan's Affair. I've started Staunch by Eleanor Wood. I have started the second in the Shepherd King series by Rachel Gillig on audiobook. And obviously I plan on reading the two cat and mouse duet books by H.D. Carlton, because I clearly can't get enough of the dark romance. Lord of the Rings, the second book, is on hold at the library, so I'll be picking that up in the next week or so. That's on the list for August. And I also, when I was in Pitlochry, picked up Matt Haig's The Midnight Library from a charity shop for £1.50. So that's probably going to sneak itself in there somewhere too. If July is anything to go by, August is going to be a great month of reading. I have not read a bad book for absolutely ages. And that's it. That is my monthly roundup done and dusted. Let me know if there's any of my July reads that you would like me to do a long form video review of, and I'll get crack-a-lacking with that ASAP. Tell me your own favourites and recommendations from July too. My TBR list is obviously not long enough. As always though, I'll be here every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, so I'll be back in a couple of days' time. Drop me a little subscribe, show me some love, and I'll see you again really soon. Cheerio!